All right, second go around. Hello everyone, Commander Brave Belly here. Today on the channel, I'll be eating, reviewing, and comparing the Russian 24-hour combat rations stacked up against the Ukrainian 24-hour combat rations. Both are currently being used right now on the front lines in the conflict in Ukraine. I hope you guys brought your appetite because you know I did. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. All right, guys, so here we have it. This is the 24-hour combat rations from Russia. Okay, menu number 2. A lot of people say this is their favorite one. I have reviewed it before, and I don't recall it being my favorite. I do think that this is one of their better ones, though, however. So we're going to open it up. We're going to eat everything. We're going to see how it stacks up. First, the NATO version. Okay, so this is actually provided by Poland to Ukraine. However, this is not a Polish-made product. This is actually from Spain, I believe it or not. We're going to discover where it was made when I open it up. But basically, it says made in the EU for Poland, provided for the Ukrainian forces. Basically, this is the NATO MRE. So I know you guys are excited to see how they stack up against each other. So am I. Let's get it on. So if you guys been seeing these over here hanging out as supporting cast members, today's knives will be Gerber, made in the USA. The reason why I decided to have these knives today is because I was watching a documentary yesterday and I actually seen a Russian soldier having this exact knife. This is the Gerber LMF2. Okay, this is the infantry knife. It was originally designed for forces like being in helicopters, you know, to like if there's a downed helicopter to escape out of it. Real quick, just gonna show you. Check out the sheath, super heavy duty. All right, this is the knife that I keep in my truck at all times. And so basically, pop. That wasn't that smooth, but whatever. Okay, so check this out. This is not the longest blade, okay, but this is very utilitarian. Okay, it's super heavy duty, as you can see, and it's got a nice spiked pommel. All right, if you need to break a window or something, and if you break a window, I suggest you keep it in its sheath so you could have a nice grip like this. Bang! All right, so yeah, seatbelt cutter right here or whatever else you need to cut. Also, it's insulated, so if you are cutting wires, you won't get zapped. But yeah, proudly made in Oregon, in the USA. Even the Russians buy this, okay? So I think that's pretty cool. Guys, leave it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think worldwide about American products, American military products. Are they held in high standards like they are here? We really love our American-made products, okay? A lot of them are high quality. They are a little bit more expensive, but you pay for what you get. That's what they say. All right. And what I will be using today as our camp knife, it's a little more nimble, a little faster. Okay. This is called the Strong Arm. Also a Gerber. What I forgot to mention this also, the cool thing is it sharpens right in the sheath. All right. So you sharpen the tip right on the sheath. So really convenient. Like I said, keep it in my truck. It's a little too heavy to walk around with, in my opinion. I have plenty of other knives for that. And this one is today's cast member, the Strong Arm. It's a lot lighter, a lot more nimble, super sharp right out of the box. Check that out. Made in Portland, Oregon. All right. Gorgeous, gorgeous knife. A lot lighter, a lot more nimble. All right, it's a lot thinner, still full tang, still has the skull crusher, and I love this knife. This is like the ninja version. All right, this is like the main battle tank version, okay? And what I did forget also to say is you see the holes right there, so you could turn this into a spear, heavy spear, but all right, so let's get it on. Gonna set that off to the side. This will be today's knife. Like I said, let's start opening stuff up. So here we go. First thing, box, fresh. Looks like this came out of the factory straight to my house. And I feel super lucky. I do have the Russian MRE plug, all right? So I get all the menu numbers. They come to my house unmolested, unopened. So super cool, you know, about that. By the way, $75 freaking dollars. It is what it is, okay? Not for sale. And here we go, unboxing. So this is a long episode, guys. Buckle in. As I said, these are both 24-hour MREs, so there's a lot to open up and explore. So get cozy. And here we go, unboxing. All right, first things first, there's sugar everywhere. So some sugar opened up, all right? Bleached white sugar all over the place, super crystallized. Here's the box, silver lining and sealed. We could fill this with water, throw in a purification tablet that's provided in here. That way we could disinfect our water. That's one of the uses of this, okay? Gonna set this aside for garbage and start unboxing. All right, so it looks like we have their Kiesel. I think this is what this was. I thought it was fruit punch way back when I reviewed this. And my Russian followers have told me in the comments that this is actually Kiesel, which is this like thick gelatinous, kind of like a Jello before it hardens. Like the hour before it hardens, you know how it's like thick? Well, apparently that's what this is. So we're gonna try this out. This needs hot water, so we gotta start boiling water soon. But let me just unpack everything. So looks like we have two of these. Full disclosure, I can't read Cyrillic, and that's okay. Then we have, this is, what's crazy about this is these boxes are so nice. However, everything else inside is dented. So that's super weird. It could be two options. It could be this was boxed and then it fell, you know, and everything like was banging against each other. Or secondly, maybe these are like new boxes but old food. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Is there a date on this? Not really. Doesn't look like there's a date, but I'm surprised these are so banged up. But whatever, this is military food. All right, so let's start unpacking. I don't know what that is. Looks like some kind of, let's find out right off top. All right, we got a hand wipe. And I'm surprised it comes in these type of packets. All right, not camouflage, not anything. All right, good quality. So keep this in mind when I'm gonna open that up. Good, high quality, okay, like a cotton or something. No smell, just like a moisture. That's it. Doesn't smell like alcohol or anything. Gonna set that to the side. We have the 3 stacked plastic spoons. Nothing special, low quality, bendable, which is nice that it doesn't crack. That's important. Okay, so yeah, not the worst spoon, stacked. Looks like we have a pepper. This looks like the creamer for the coffee. We have another packet of beverage. This looks like a blueberry beverage. Then we have pâtés, which are very, very intensely dented. Check that out. 2 different ones. We'll figure out which ones they are when I open them up. Now we have the crackers. 2 packs of the wheat crackers. And then 2 packs of white crackers that are destroyed. This happens in military food, so we just have to bear with it. I dropped a purification tablet. We have the Russian chocolate bar. This is a dark chocolate bar. One of the mains, really dented. They're all dented. Next main. This is our culprit of all the sugar. This is opened. It hit an edge or something. Okay, so one of the sugar packets. So 3 sugar packets in total, and 1 was breached. It is what it is. Put the sugar right there. All right. What looks like either gum or candy in silver packaging, which is not camo. It is what it is. What looks like the Russian coffee, very low portion, but the Russians aren't the hugest fans of coffee. A lot of them say they just have a coffee in the morning. It's mostly a tea drinking country, which is understandable, super hot there. But a lot of the soldiers were telling me that they just pound energy drinks all the time. So yeah, perhaps they're not drinking coffee, but they're drinking energy drinks on the front line. All right, this feels like it's some kind of pill or something. So check it out. It might be a multivitamin. Let me open that right up. Oh yeah, you smell the multivitamin in it? Check it out. 100% multivitamin, okay? Then we have what looks like their famous bacon that I absolutely adore. We lost the top of it. That's cool, whatever. Not that serious. I love this bacon. High quality, delicious bacon. Looking forward to that. Then I believe maybe this is their cheese. It could be their apple sauce. I don't know. We'll find out. Another, I don't know what that is. Dented. And then the final meal, look how badly dented it is. Check that out. Then we have two of their camo tees, and I love seeing the camouflage print. Puts me in the mood. By the way, I'm wearing the American USGI. This is no longer in service. That's why I'm wearing it, because I am not a member of the military, but I like it. Last night I saw the movie Warfare, and they were wearing this type of clothing, and absolutely loved the movie. Was just looking at the camo and how they were wearing it, what kind of stuff they were rocking. A lot of the stuff that I have here, which I might get into a little later, but great movie, Warfare. All right, we have their heating element, which they use to heat up all their food. One of these, okay, with 3 heating fuel dried alcohol tabs. Okay, so you can see 2 of them are crushed. We're gonna use this to start heating up water in a minute. So we have 3 of these in total. That's 3 of these wet wipes. Then we have the beautiful Russian Hurricane matches, my favorite matches. Actually, the better ones are the red tips, apparently. I'm not sure if that's true, but these are good nonetheless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. And these are waterproof as well. We have some napkins. We have 3 napkins, kind of low quality, if I'm going to be honest. Very small and very, look how the wind takes it, very low, like thin. Okay, so if you're really dirty, this is not going to do too much. This is for like a quick wipe. Look, this is 3 napkins. It's literally just a ball of one. I'm going to put that in my pocket. We have a cheap knife also. The good thing, it doesn't break. So, but it is very, very thin, low quality, but it is what it is. Most soldiers, like I said, have a knife minimum. All right, we have the salt. And finally, we have their famous apple jelly. I love this jelly. Okay. And then the other 2 purification, so that's 3 in total. And then finally, we have list of ingredients, etc., etc. So just paperwork that I can't read, nutritional facts, etc. Right? Gonna set this to the side, and that is all of the Russian 24-hour menu 2. I'm gonna slide it over a little bit. Let's get into this one. So this is, like I said, the Ukrainian one. Never opened this one. I don't know what's in here. Also not for sale like the other one, and it was roughly the same price, so about 75 bucks, give or take a few bucks for shipping, etc., etc. But yeah, so it's not cheap. So, and both of these are paid for twice, once by the taxpayers and another time by me. So yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, nice military color, you know, the khaki. And we have English, Ukrainian, and Polish language. All right, doesn't say too much, just a lot of like nutritional facts. Check that out. We're gonna discover everything as we go, so I don't feel like reading this, but as you can see, the bag, is it a pull apart? It's not really a pull apart bag. I'm sure I could tear it open, but that's why we have the knife, like butter. And here we go. This is what we're working with. All right, that's how it looks. So the unpacking. First, we have the cutlery. We have it all together in a nice plastic. That's cool. All right, we have a fork, a spoon, and a knife. All right, so already different. Looks like similar construction style. Look at this knife and look at this knife. It's like they use the same mold almost. Ain't that interesting? Look at that. No, it's not the same mold. I see differences, but still, I mean, it's crazy to say that these two people are fighting against each other. Look at that. Same designs. All right. And as far as the plastic, oh yeah, this one cracks. So there's that. All right, so notice the differences. Very interesting. I'm super intrigued. All right, so these are their sweet biscuits. So for whatever reason, they love to call things like this biscuits in Europe, but in America, we'd call these crackers because crackers crack and biscuits are soft. But okay, you can call it what you want. Sweet biscuits. Now, comparison, look at the difference. All right, big difference. Boom. Just size difference, really. And they do feel heavy, so more volume, I guess. All right, let's keep going. Then we have whitener for drinks and powder with sugar. Okay, so this is their creamer. That's what they call their whitener with drinks. And it's substantial size. And in comparison to the Russian, it doesn't even compare. So this is the size difference. And it goes up to here, but it's a lot thicker. All right, moving on. We have another creamer, which they call the whitener for drinks in powder with sugar. Dumbest name on the planet, but it's just creamer. All right, then we have a peach marmalade. Check it out. See the differences in packaging? Because this is a jelly that you just squeeze out, and this one you have to open it up and kind of like spread it with a knife. So there's that difference. We have a cocoa powder, so hot chocolate, another creamer, so 3 creamers. So what that means, a lot more coffee in the Nato version. We have a prepared meal, plate cuisine, that's all it says. Doesn't say much about goulash with goulash skurchaka. That means goulash made out of chicken. That's what this is. Luckily, I know how to read Polish. Nice. All right, so check that out. This is one of their mains as opposed to the Russian main, okay? So this looks like you have to heat up. This didn't come with any heating elements other than the stove. And this looks like perhaps we could heat it up with the other heating element. I'll show you guys. All right, what do we have here? We have paper tissues. Look at that. All right, real nice. I'm opening these up right away. Look at the stack. So the Polish tax dollars are definitely working noticeably. This is a nice, let's see the quality of the napkins. Look at that. Way better than the Russian napkins, okay? Let's be real. And a lot more. So I'll put these in my pocket. Another thing, guys, don't forget the Ukrainians are getting food from freaking England, so they get the British MREs. I think they get the Canadian, definitely the USA, these. So they have so many options as also Ukrainian MREs. So guys, if you want to see a Ukrainian MRE review, a British one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I have it in the MRE list. All right, let's keep going. We have more okay, so this one is crackers. So these they call crackers, and these they call sweet biscuits. These are both crackers in America. These are sweet crackers, these are regular crackers. But here they call these sweet biscuits. Boom, 3rd pack, so 2-pack crackers and 1 of the sweet biscuits. Then we have like a cereal bar. Okay, so this is, now we're going into their snack territory. Cereal bar, I love how it's sealed. Just looks professional. We have their coffee pack. Real nice. Camo. I like it. Or not camo, just cream. But it looks more military is what I'm trying to get at. We have some kind of apple paste. Ooh, and it looks literally like a jelly. So we're going to compare and see if it's similar, guys. I hope it's different. I don't know. All right, moving on. Oh, we got this, a toothbrush that already comes pre-soaked in toothpaste, all right? It's infused in the bristles. All you need is just this, all right? That's pretty cool. So at least they care about their teeth. That's important. All right, we have another peach marmalade. So 2 peach marmalades. We have another coffee. So far 2 coffees. We have a salt and a pepper. We have a can of something. And this is neither in Polish, Ukrainian, or English. This is written in Spain. Okay, so this is a company that manufactures rations. Okay, and so they do it for a number of different countries. And yeah, I guess this is one of them. So yeah, this is from Spain. All right, so it's some kind of canned meat. Put that down. Now moving on. Moist wipe. Let's see about these moist wipes. All right, this one has a scent, and it's not a good scent at all. Yep, it smells like a degreaser, like a lemon degreaser. Okay, and so I gotta say with this one, the Russians win. Okay, the quality sucks. This is just paper. The smell is terrible. It smells like a degreaser. That's lemon. So yeah, it is what it is. Peanut cream, okay? This is their creamy peanut butter. They're calling it peanut cream. We have 2 packets of sugar, and you see what they did? They used the plastic so it didn't burst open like the Russian one. See how this is a plastic container, so it's not as easy to puncture. So smart. Good job, guys. All right. Another salt and pepper. It keeps coming. I dropped something. This is another moist wipe. Gonna set it off. All right, so we have the heating elements that I mentioned, so we don't actually have to make a fire, which in my opinion, as far as combat, as far as front lines, this is the way to go. We're not camping, okay? Yeah, so we do have instructions or their basic nutritional information. We have it, like I said, in Russian, Polish, and English. Yeah, so just explains everything, what you have for breakfast, what you have for lunch, dinner, your snacks, and your accessories, all written out. If you're interested in knowing all the details, I'm not gonna give them to you because we're moving along. We got a lot to do here. All right, so these are the heat packets. Check them out. They look high quality and modern. All right, and this is the name of the brand. This is the name of the brand that manufactures these MREs. All right, we have their other main, fasolka po bretońsku, which is kind of like some kind of, it just says prepared meal. I don't know why in English it doesn't tell you the name of the food. It just tells you that it's prepared meal. Whereas in the Polish language, it tells you literally what it is. So that's weird. I don't know what fasolka po bretońsku is. It's basically kind of like some kind of, it's like a stew with beans, basically. All right, we're gonna open it up, don't you worry. All right, and this, it looks like one of their another stove. So we have another apple paste. So guys, first thing is a lot more food in the Nato version. Okay, first thing, we got the plastic packaging for the sugar, which is smart. I like this. Nothing's open. That's the second cool thing. third cool thing, we have two options. We have the similar heating element. This is the Russian one with the 3 alcohol ones and the 1 stove. And this is a a little bit more sizable stove that also folds up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other fuels, not 3, but 6. Then we also have, instead of like the Russians, how they gave 3, this is 4 water purification tablets all together in one. Aqua tabs. So 4 of these. So I feel like it's safe to say so far visually that the Nato provided offers more. Okay, so that's the reality of the situation. And also, I feel like as far as some of the things, it's more modernized, whereas the Russian, I feel like same old. It's been this way for a number of years, and this is like a company that had been contracted to do this. They're more like commercial style, so a lot of this stuff is a little, I would say, slightly better quality, at least at first visual. So check out this stove, and I do have the instructions. Hold up, bear with me. All right, so yeah, this is the instructions on how to fold this stove, which we're gonna do. So all 4 are supposed to be folded in, so that makes things a lot easier. And basically, that's weird. Why would they? That's all it's showing how to do it. Just fold it up, and here we go. But that's weird because we have no legs now, so I don't know why they would have it flat standing. That's weird. You know what I mean? I don't know what these are about. Maybe it's so it's easy to grab and move around. Maybe we could use these as legs like this. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It just tells you to fold all 4 up. So if all 4 of them up, here we have it. Maybe it's like this, so it's good to grab and in more surface area, kind of. We'll see. So this is the Nato one. We're gonna light it up. This is their little S-bit fuel, which is made in Germany. And then we have old school European matches, okay? So these are probably from Spain. Let's see. Yeah, because it says Los Niños, but it says Fabrica in India. So this is made in India. Wow, we have stuff from all over the world here. Okay, so this is made in India. Check out the elephant. As the Russians say, I'm their elephant, which I don't know what that means. So if you guys could describe it in detail, I'd greatly appreciate it in the comments. But yeah, so this is their matches. Regular old matches, nothing to say. Yeah. All right, so let's start heating some of these things up. Now the difference is also we have what looks like to be 2 huge mains with a can. So it looks like the Russians actually have more food, like food, okay? Whereas this is just like 2 mains and this is 3 mains. So we're gonna freaking open everything up and see, go back to back and compare. And that's basically everything. All right, so time to start heating things up. So we're gonna use the method they expect you to, which is using these. And they were saying that the long legs are supposed to go up and the short legs are supposed to go down as far as the stand. Okay, whatever works. See, I like the longer legs down because it's higher off the table so I don't burn it, but I've been burning a lot of tables lately, so I've been a bad boy, apparently. And we're gonna do 2. We're gonna try to, this is my second attempt of trying to heat up some water outdoors using one of these, because this is not my typical way of doing it. Usually I use the gas burner, but that is not the case today. I'm gonna make an attempt to light it this way. And let's go. We're gonna take the striker out. All right, striker, lay it on the table. We have fire, and we're gonna light this puppy up. Now let me find a good place to boil the water. I'm just gonna put it a little bit off camera because I will put the water in now. All right, so let me open one of these up for you guys. Take a look at one of my hiking bags. All right, this is all USGI military. All right, so first one, I'm gonna put the lid, or actually the bottom stand. As you can see, the fire goes right there. And I use this as a stand, just like that. All right. I'm gonna set it off to the side, and I'm gonna pour this up with water, room temp. And cover it up. All right, so we got that going. And we're gonna do the same with the Esbit stove and compare. We're also gonna use 2 of these fuel tablets. 1, 2. And the nice thing about these is they're all packed individually, not 3 at once. So it seems like they don't break as much. So little design elements that differ, I guess. This is more modernized. I would say the Ukrainian one seems a little bit more modernized, if we're gonna be real. And this is what my channel is about, being real. Try to not to sugarcoat anything. There's no agendas here. I'm not sponsored or paid by anybody. I just like this type of stuff. So yeah, since I don't get paid for this, I figure why not do something that I enjoy, and I definitely do enjoy this. All right, gonna make a little bit of room. Wow, so much of this Nato stuff. And same deal, gonna show you guys how I light it. Now let's see how this lights with the provided matches. It is slightly windy today. Nope, that already went out. So I'm gonna try one more time, then I'm gonna use the Russian match. My favorite match. I think I put it out with the second match. Yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare in any kind of like frontline conditions to light this. It could be done, but I don't have time to play games. So I'm gonna do it with the beautiful Russian matches. There they go. They always light it every time. And so we're gonna fill this up with water as well. Okay, same deal with this one. Okay, I have one of these little cups. Also gonna see, I like the little handle on the side. Gonna set this off. Oh, but this doesn't fit under it. You see guys, look, this does not fit. I probably could make it fit. Let me bend it a little. Oh yeah, made it fit, baby. Here's what it looks like. And it's roaring, you could say. Boom, here we have it. All right, so we have the water being boiled currently, or at least attempting it. We're gonna start opening up these foods. All right, so gonna make a little more room for me. And guys, you have to bear with me. I mean, there's a lot that I'm juggling here. It just is what it is. Yeah, so forgive me for fumbling a little bit, for taking more time than you expect, but it just is what it is. All right, so let's start heating up some of these mains. First thing I gotta say about this one, it looks plumpy, so hopefully it's just from the denting and hasn't gotten bad. A lot of sugar on this. Let's open it up and see what's in there. Okay, this looks like some kind of meatballs, perhaps. Yeah, meatballs in a tomato sauce, I believe it is. I've had this before, now I remember them. And they're all right. Not the best, not the worst. But we're gonna give them all a try again. All right, this is the second one. It's still burning. Oh, ooh. Okay, so we have the famous Russian buckwheat. Smells fine. Buckwheat with beef. Very fatty, very delicious. All right, so I'm gonna have the buckwheat alongside the meatballs, which Russians usually, they're like, how can this man possibly mix the two? That's what they were basically saying in the comments, which is wild. Why not? There's no rules. All right, this is the third one. Oh my God, he mixed meatballs. Typical stupid American. All right, and then we have some kind of stew here with potatoes. Okay, it looks like potatoes, meat, and carrots. I don't want to tilt it over and have everything drip out on you guys. And yes, I opened it. A lot of them say, oh, keep it closed. I've done that before. It just makes a whole lot of mess because it comes out the sides, gets oily and dirty. So we're gonna open them up, and we're gonna move on to first trying some of these canned things. All right, so first let's try this. Now everything is absolutely covered in sugar, so already that kind of sucks because I got sugar on top of everything, on all my fingers. The Nato one is nice and clean, so that's a good start. And guys, like I said before, I have no dog in the fight. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to be as, I guess, neutral, 50-50 about the experience. I'm just telling you exactly what I'm seeing. All right, and that's the pate, what it looks like. It looks weird. It smells like regular pate. Gonna plop it on the plate so you could see what it looks like. It has a little bit of juice up close. Nothing to write home about, nothing dramatically fancy or special. I gotta get some of these Nato napkins because this Russian stuff is dirty. And it's only because a packet of sugar had opened up and made everything sticky. All right, so let's look at this pate. You're gonna cut it open. That's what it's looking like. It's very fatty, marbled in fat, which is a nice thing. First bite going down. Tastes like a Spam, but tastes better than Spam. Doesn't taste industrial, but same deal nonetheless. Canned processed meat. Spammy aftertaste. Not bad at all. Gonna have it alongside this cracker, the galeta. Okay, this is the famous Russian crackers. They basically don't even use spoons or the provided spoons. They use this to scoop everything. Not bad. I've had them before where they were very dusty. This is not as bad, and it has a lot of crunch still to it, so I'm super pleasantly surprised. Real nice. Gonna take a bite like this. A little bit of cracker, the wheat cracker, and the galeta. Real nice. Wouldn't change anything about it. Really salty and fatty and flavorful. Doesn't taste like some cheap 99-cent store meat or anything like that. It's not bad at all. All right. From a 1 to a 10, I give it a solid 8. And I've had these before. Some are better than others. This one is on the better side, okay? So really liking this one. All right. Let's see about, this is their bacon, which I have so many different people tell me different comments. Some say to heat this up and use the fat to cook this. Why? This has fat in it. This is all fatty meat. You don't need extra to cook. You can, and I will do it another time, not today. There's so much to cook here. Guys, check out the beautiful Russian bacon filled with fat. I'm gonna pour it out just like this, all close up, but that's what it's looking like. Almost like a honey or something. That's how thick it is. All right, and look at that. I guess they call this their bacon. It looks a lot like freaking lard and bacon. I mean, this is super intense. Now, even the Russian soldiers, some of them don't eat this. They're just like, yeah, this is too hardcore. And I could imagine the younger guys born in the 2000s, they look at something like this and this is way too hardcore for them. Unlike me, I grew up eating stuff like this. And even though I'm an American, I grew up in a European household. Both of my parents are from Poland. So I grew up eating stuff with high fat content, and I'm not squeamish about it. Let's give it a taste straight up. Look how gnarly and fatty that looks. Smells like nothing much. Really nice, okay? Really sweet in flavor, ridiculously sweet. Obviously high in calories because of all the fat. Really pleasant and sweet. All right, for bacon that comes in a can, 10 out of 10. Not overly salty or highly processed, just nice cuts of bacon. All right, they taste super sweet, a little bit on the gelatinous side. Very pleasant. From a 1 to a 10, I give the bacon a 10. Gonna move on to the next canned product. See what's up in here. Look how badly dented. Which is to be expected when it comes to military food. Just like the sugar being open, that's usually stuff that happens, okay? But it's nice when it doesn't. Gonna open this up. I believe this is their apple. I don't know if this is their vegetable caviar, what they call. So I can't open this because now my hands are so sticky. Oh yeah, this is their famous Russian caviar, what they call. And it's basically zucchini and veggies. So we're just gonna eat this like this. Give it a try. And I like this one more than their zucchini one that's finely minced. This one's a little bit chunky. You have more things to sink a tooth into. Just tastes like a paprika, canned paprika, and like veggies, okay? So it's like an Italian style in flavor. Now, Russians love this stuff. They usually eat it paired with their meats and their buckwheat. It helps with digestion, so it makes a lot of sense. I don't love this at all. It's okay. I would eat this like as a grown-up. You know, you got to eat this because it helps with digestion, etc., etc. But is it delicious? In my opinion, definitely not, because I didn't grow up eating this type of food. So it's whatever, you know? Let's see what we have in this can. Another pate. This one made a hiss. This pate does seem different. This looked like more of a canned meat, and this one looks more of like a pate. Yep, it's a true pate. Okay, and it's medium. It's not like fully airy, fluffy. So it's like a medium density. Very livery. Not delicious. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just not good. Okay, this one definitely tastes more on the industrial side. And I've heard this from Russian soldiers that have been writing to me in the comments. They feel the same about these pates. Nobody's in love with these pates whatsoever, generally. Okay, so yeah, from a 1 to 10, I give these like a 5. 4 or 5. Actually more of a 4. And I've said before, this reminds me of like industrial, like, I don't know, just highly processed, you know, something for the masses. So not delicious at all. Gonna move on to whatever it's in here, and I believe this is their apple. No, this is their beautiful cheese. And I swear to you guys, I think they changed the formula of their cheese. As you can see, it actually has that texture of melting cheese, which is beautiful. I don't recall it being like this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this on the cracker, but oh yeah, tastes like real cheese, even though this is super synthetic. All right, I don't know what they use, a bunch of different cheeses, and this is I don't even know if there's dairy in here, but it tastes like real cheese. That it has a little of that like stinkiness to it, like real cheese does, in a good way. And it tastes like oily and flavorful. Really, really delicious. Gonna have it on a white cracker. As you can see, all the crackers here are broken. Maybe some here. We're gonna try to make the best of it. Oh yeah, do one of these little guys. All right. On the white cracker. Yeah, surprisingly, these crackers don't taste as dusty as they usually do. But there's nothing to brag about. They're very like entry-level crackers. From a 1 to a 10, they're a 4 or a 5 on their best day. All right. Certainly are other better crackers in other military rations. We'll compare to these and we'll see. But the cheese is 10 out of 10. Wouldn't change anything about it. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this is their famous apple puree. Very tart, just slightly sweetened. So I don't think they add anything extra. This is literally just apple up in here. All right. I was never a fan of this. Even as a little boy, when they would give out applesauce, I'm like, get this out of here. Who the heck wants applesauce? That's how I feel as a grown-up also. In the military, I would eat this if I was in the front lines because digestion, health, etc. But taste, I don't want it. All right. From a 1 to a 10, it's a 6. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's applesauce. All right. Gonna go back to these Nato napkins because it's freaking messy. It is what it is. Actually, let me just wash my hands real quick. All right, gonna set this aside and move along. I'm gonna do a quick little cleanup over here, so please bear with me. All right, it looks like both of the heating elements completely turned off. All right, we have a beautiful sunny day with barely any wind at all. It's a slight wind, but I mean barely any. Here, let me demonstrate. This is a napkin. Look how windy it is. Very slight wind. And what I'm getting to is These stupid heating freaking solid fuel, terrible, because both of these things are already out. And look, once again, we don't have any hot water whatsoever. Okay, so that goes to show you guys, this is completely outdated in my personal opinion. Yeah, it just is what it, especially if you're like in a trench in the front line. I don't advise these. This is why I love this. So I gotta say, with the Russian situation, guys, let me know in the comments down below how you Russian soldiers actually feel about this heating element, because all your beverages basically are expected to be drunk and warm with scorching hot water, as all the viewers said. That's how everything dilutes. And so where are you gonna get scorching hot water here? We're not camping. Okay, so that's kind of my issue with the heating stoves. I don't have time for all that. We're gonna move on. So we're not gonna have anything hot because we tried. All right. So this is their kishel, which is supposed to be poured over with super hot water. So this is the hot water. Okay. And this is what's left over with the heating stove. So as you can see, it all burned. 2 fuel tabs. No, 1 fuel tab. Okay, but whatever. We had 2 of these fuel tabs. And this water is out as well. Let me show you the other fuel tabs. So this was 2. Completely burned. None of this water is remotely hot. That's something very important, in my opinion. We're gonna taste this kishel. So basically, this has to be done with scorching hot water, dissolved, and then you're supposed to wait till it thickens up, which is mind-blowingly crazy. Why they would expect somebody to do this on the front line? Who's got time for that? But I understand Russia is big, and so this is probably good for like those soldiers that are stationed somewhere where it's like below zero, so I understand how this would be nice. Take that for what it's worth. All right, gonna heat up some of these meals right here, and the way I'm gonna do them, I think I'm just gonna do them on the actual thing, the Lord that I brought my gas stoves. Otherwise, we'd be here for another 2 hours just to eat. Boom. All right, this is the real deal. This is what modern soldiers carry on the front line in their book bag, in their bag, in their sack, whatever. In their sack, I said. All right, this is how it's done the modern way. Boom, we have fire. End of story. All right, what are we heating up first? Let's do this. Bring that fire down a little bit. All right, this is gonna be way quicker. I'm gonna set that right there. Let that heat up. Cubed up potatoes, looks like carrots, and we have what I believe is beef. Is this out? All right, second go around. Wow, I don't want that to explode. These things happen. We ran out of gas and we don't have too much time. I don't have forever. We're gonna heat this up now on this one, and let's see how this looks. Okay, gorgeous. Cooked really nice, didn't burn on the bottom because of the high fat content. Let's try it by itself. Really good. Nice and warm. The beef is delicious, very, very rich and flavorful. 10 out of 10. Guys, this looks like pearl barley, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Whatever the case, this is not a common food in the United States. That's why I always confuse it. Nonetheless, really good. Very hearty, lots of carbs, lots of fat, considerable amounts of meat. Not bad at all. Good chewy chunks of beef in there for sure. From a 1 to a 10, I give this an 8. It's good, but it's absolutely not like, you know, brag to your friends delicious. Really good, but for some reason today it's not hitting as much. Gonna move on to the next. Stir this bad boy up and see if it's ready. Still needs to be warmed up. All right, I'm sick of waiting. We're gonna try some of this food. All right. It looks definitely very appealing. Oh yeah, definitely the potatoes are nice, something to bite on. Okay, the solid cube potatoes. With the carrots, definitely an aftertaste of tomato, which is nice. Real good. Gonna mix it with the pearl barley if that's what it is. The Russians can't believe their brains right now. Oh my God, I mixed it. But yeah, there's no rules. Okay. Way better together. Very flavorful. This is how I would eat this. Okay. Gonna heat up the meatballs too real quick. Gonna throw them in the pan. Lots of fat, which is how the Russians like it, because it cooks well in here. Because of the fat, you don't have things burning. That's what it's looking like. The meatballs, big old chunky meatballs up close. Gonna heat them up. Gonna have some more of this food with the crackers. We're just gonna stick to the wheat because they're not as broken. And this is how the Russians eat it. Not bad. Can't complain. This is their drink. Warm beverage, tastes fruity like boiled fruits. From a 1 to a 10, I give it a 1. Never liked the taste of this, boiled fruit flavor. Tastes natural and disgusting. All right. So that's how I feel about that. Even on the freaking stove, for some reason today, nothing's heating up quick. And I don't have any more time. I'm just doing it all together. I'm sick of waiting. It's been over an hour just to make food. So the Russians are good cooks. At least we know that. You guys do a lot of cooking. And yeah, just an observation. I don't want anybody to feel like offended or anything like that. It's just the reality. As you can see, everything needs to be cooked over an open fire or over a real fire. So that's cool when you're camping, but in combat, please, the soldiers, let me know in the comments, the actual soldiers, not like, tourists, not Russian guys that go hunting and make this. I need to know from real soldiers in battles on the front line. How do you guys feel about having to cook everything, having to boil water every time you want to drink something? To me, that's wild. All right. Let's see about these freaking Meatballs, very soft, very mushy, just like ground beef. From a 1 to a 10, these are like a 1, only because they're not piping hot, they're just warm, but also not much on flavor, leaves a little to be desired. People say this is their favorite box, menu number 2. I beg to differ. This is definitely not one of my favorite ones. Number 1 has so far been my favorite as far as the menu numbers. There's nothing to brag about. The only thing good about this is this tastes like homemade food that your mom made and didn't season well. That's what this tastes like. So pros and cons to that, guys. My favorite aspect of the Russian food is the apple jam with the cheese. By far is my most favorite experience with the Russian rations. All right, gonna have some on this cracker together with the jelly. That's how I love it. And here we go. Look at that. Now, the people who actually told me about this is actual soldiers. The Russian soldiers are actually eating it this way. And I've tried it before and it's phenomenal. Wow. My favorite. The cheese is actually funky cheese and it's melting already. So it's got like all the oils in it and stuff. It's like got that dankness like cheese does. And this is bright and tart and sweet. And so the contrast together make a beautiful balance. 10 out of 10 for that experience of the crackers and the cheese and the jelly. All right, guys, gonna make some room, clean up a little bit, and we're gonna be opening up all the NATO stuff and eating it. Hang on. So that was all the Russian stuff, and now I cleaned up a little bit. We're gonna experience this Ukrainian stuff that's actually NATO. All right, so let's go. First thing we're gonna do is heat up the 2 mains, and we're gonna use the nice conveniently provided heating packets. And the procedure is like so. Throw that one in. Fill to the line as it says on the instructions. Fold it over. Let out some of this air. Okay, and I'm gonna just stand it up right here so it starts heating. Gonna do that with the second one as well. A little too much. And as you can see, look at that. We have fire, guys. Not technically, but chemically. Okay, we have a chemical heating system going. And look how much more convenient that is. I mean, that is just what a soldier really wants. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And just real quick, just came to mind. Want to show you guys another one of my Gerbers. This is the newest lineup, and I must say I thought it was a little bootleg looking since the camo is different, but I love, like I said, the ACU, the digital American camo. All right, this is a Tonto style blade, also made in Portland, Oregon, the USA. All right, full tang, skull crusher, good grip. All right, we got the serrated for seat belts or whatever, little pokey for stabbing. So yeah, good quality knives by Gerber. Not the most expensive, not the best by any means, but good enough. So guys, if you're in a foreign military, not from the US, let me know if you actually use any Gerber knives. All right, so we got heat. This is heating up. let's continue on. So first thing we're gonna try is some of these crackers. First, we're gonna try the sweet biscuit, see what that's about. We're gonna have it with some of this jams. All right, here's their sweet biscuit. All right, better than anything in the Russian MRE as far as the crackers or the biscuits. This is way better. It's sweet, for real. This tastes like a real tea biscuit. All right, the same type that they sell all over Europe. Typical tea biscuit, very delicious, very much like a dessert. All right, gonna have that with some of the peach. Couldn't open it. Marmalade going down. Now the quality of the marmalade just looks like something you would get at a gas station. It started to separate, and what I mean by that is I got like some kind of liquid juice coming out of it, and the rest of it is gelatinous. Not much for looks very cheap quality. All right, but let's see the taste. Has a peachy smell. Oh yeah, not bad at all. Tastes like canned peaches. Very flavorful and delicious. Very sweet, but has no tartness. So that's the difference. I would say I like the apple jelly more from the Russian just because it has more tartness, so more depth to it. And I also like a squeeze package. Way more convenient than something that I got to use a knife and spread. Not while I'm in combat, okay? I'm going to try it with this one now. This is their apple paste, which is the real comparison. Again, the pulling is nothing to look over because it's not a good design. You see how I just pulled it off and it ripped? So not the best, but it does happen even in the Russian MREs. This time it did not. All right, so the apple paste, it looks like they use real apple. I don't know if the camera picks up the different kind of depth to it. You see the little bits in there. Let's see how it tastes with the cracker. This tastes more real. Believe it or not, this tastes more, what's the word, natural than the Russian. The Russians always say how natural everything is. If you want to try real natural, this tastes natural. I don't know if it is though. Ingredients: apple pulp, sugar, glucose, fructose, syrup, thickener. So yeah, thickener, that's already not natural. So yeah, and there's preservative, but this tastes more natural. But I like the Russian one better. I like the tartness. It's has more depth to it, like I said. All right, gonna move on to the next. We have this canned product. So I must say it looks like the Russians have more actual food for starters. All right, we have a canned meat. Smells like pate. Okay, smells like liver. And yeah, definitely liver pate. Smells very high in mineral content. Oops. Oh wow, but this one is a lot fluffier. It's way more, as you can see, like fluffy. And the color is nicer too. I would say the Russian one is more gray. This is like red, so it looks more like meat. Oh yeah. It tastes a lot better. The texture is better. It's more pleasant in your mouth, like it dissolves. And I think that's the biggest aspect that makes it taste better. And flavor wise, it's not much better. So if the last one, let's say, was a 4 or a 5, this is a 5 or a 5.5. So not much better, but definitely I would say it tastes of higher quality. And this is a commercial product, at least it looks like, so kind of makes sense. Gonna move on from that. Not my favorite. All right, we're gonna try, since these are almost done heating up, as you can see, super quick and convenient and clean and fast. We're gonna try some of these beverages. So the only beverages we have is the coffee and the hot chocolate. I'm not drinking coffee right now since I didn't open the Russian one. What we're gonna see about is this cocoa powder. And you might be asking yourself, oh, why the cold water? Well, like I said, in combat situations, you don't have time to boil. And so it is what it is. So the way this looks is cocoa powder and looks like sugar granules in here mixed together. Stirs up pretty good, as you can see. Real good, especially for it not being hot chocolate, just a cocoa beverage. Look at that. I would say it stirs up really well. Nice color. Never had hot chocolate cool, and this is actually not bad at all. But not something you would have alongside your drinks. This is definitely a dessert. Not over the top sweet, just a little hint of sweetness, and mostly tastes like a dark chocolate. So I'm not a huge fan of this. From a 1 to a 10, this is a 5 on its best day. Gonna move on from that and try this peanut butter that they call their peanut cream. Gonna have it on their regular cracker. Now the regular cracker just tastes like a saltine, but a lot thicker. All right, more substantial. And it makes sense. The thicker they are, the less likely they are to break. So it seems. And here we go with the peanut cream. Straight out the pack, squeezing it out. That's how I like to do these things. Less of a mess. We're just gonna put a little bit and wow. So check out the color. Definitely very light in color and super creamy looking. Salty and real good, nice and smooth. All right, roasted peanuts and salt. That's all this tastes like. All right, in this type of form. Wow, really makes the mouth super dry, so it makes me thirsty. And also another messy food. So yeah, not the most convenient, but it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with this peanut butter. It's actually almost like commercial quality, something you would buy here in America. I do think it's a lot better with the jelly. Let's see how it is with the peach marmalade. Why not? I'm gonna squeeze it right on. Oh yeah. Real nice. Way better with the jelly or the marmalade. Excuse me guys, gotta wipe my face. But yeah, I must say definitely not as good as the Russian cheese with the apple jelly. That's 10 out of 10. I would say this is regular. Even with the jelly, from a 1 to 10, it's like a 7, 8 on its best day. All right, let's get into the serious food. Since it looks like it's ready. Here's one and here's the other. All right, opening up. This is the fasolka po bretońsku, aka prepared meal. So whoever did the translation did not do a good job. They're fired. At least they should be. But let's see what's in here. This is how it looks. And up close. So we have sausages. We have, looks like 2 baby sausages, and we have the beans, big large white beans, and 2 baby sausages. Let's try that out. First bite going down. Very hearty and delicious. Okay, tastes like a bean paste almost, so really thick. All right, as you can see, lots of calories, lots of fiber. And I was so wrong, not 2 sausages, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 sausages, so quite substantial. Basically tastes like a salchicha, you know, like those little bologna ones. Not the most delicious in flavor. Tastes like something that perhaps came out of a can. Unlike the actual beans, the fasola, tastes really good. All right, the flavor from a 1 to a 10, I give this a solid 7. It's nothing to write home about, but it's definitely flavorful. Doesn't taste like it's a chemical or anything like that. But I do have to say the sausages themselves, they do taste like those cheap canned Vienna sausages. So it is what it is. And gonna move on to the next. This is their prepared meal, goulash, chicken goulash. As you can see, you don't really need a knife. I like being dramatic though, as you can probably tell. Makes things interesting. Boom. So both of these meals look basically the same. So it's like you're eating 2 of the same thing almost, which has their pros and cons. For me, it'd be nice if it'd be completely different. And although technically it's different food, it just looks like slop. All right, we have green peas, carrots, and the same kind of beans and minced chicken. So this one, it looks less substantial because it doesn't have the sausages. Let's see the taste. The taste of this one is a lot better because of the peas. Excuse me. Because of the peas. And the peas give it a little more depth. Has that real pea flavor. It's actually pretty good. From a 1 to a 10, I give this like a 8 on its best day. It's just slightly better than this one. Also, nothing to write home about. Honestly, so far, I would say, in my personal opinion, of the 2 rations, I would say the Russian, I like that the variety seems different, where this is similar. So I like that, you know. Also, the Russian has more food. But the thing here is, this food is quicker to make. I feel like it's like less dirty as well. Yeah, so those are my big takeaways. As far as the jellies, I do like the Russian one more. And the Russian cheese and the jelly is top notch, can't be beat. All right. So that's what I have so far. All right, let's compare the 2 bars. All right. This is the Russian. This is the Ukrainian or Nato. Okay, so the Russians went with their, let's be healthy, antioxidants. I think that doesn't matter at all when you're in a trench, but it is what it is. Really nice, good quality, I would say. I wouldn't say the best quality. From a 1 to a 10, I'd give this like an 8.5. All right, and that's the building where the actual chocolates are made. It's in Moscow. Not bad at all. I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate, and this is the bar. As you can see, two totally different styles. One looks like commercial, and this, the NATO one, actually looks more military. And up close, all right, just looks like one of them granola bars for hiking. Nice, chewy, but also nothing to brag about. All right, I'd give this a 8 on its best day as well. Maybe even less, maybe a 7. All right, don't taste any fruit in there, even though there is. They're like little raisins. I wish they were cranberries so they have more brightness. So this just definitely tastes like very basic. The nice thing about it is the textures and the crunch, where this is just pure chocolate. So this is a tie, I would say, because maybe this is like good quality chocolate, but at the end of the day, just a bar of black chocolate, which I'm not crazy about. This granola bar, same thing, just a granola bar. There's nothing like fruity or exciting about it. There might be like little raisins, what looks like in there. So you get a hint of sweetness, but no tartness, no depth or anything. So it's a tie. So guys, there you have it. That's both of the meals compared. And I must say, if you guys stayed around for this long, thank you so much for watching. I definitely did a lot of fumbling in this one, being that it's two 24-hour meals and I am outdoors, have to juggle a lot. All right. Just comes with the territory of eating outside, I guess. But if you guys want to see individual like 24-hour rations by themselves, make sure to check out my list of all MRE reviews. I got a lot more coming. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, signing off.